You've smelled it before in a hotel lobby, in a luxury car, and someone walking past you in a mall. And you stop. You literally stop what you are doing because something hit different. That's that's food. And today I'm going to tell you everything about it. What it is, where it comes from, why it costs more per kilogram than gold, and why it has been the most sought after scent on the planet for more than 1,000 years. And by the end of this video, you're never going to smell a fragrance the same way again. Let's get into it. Before we start, if you're new here, my name is Sonal and I'm the founder of SOSA Home and Body. We make premium car perfumes, home fragrances, and scented candles. Fragrance is literally my business, and oud is one of the 8 scents in my car perfume collection. So when I tell you about oud, I'm not reading off Wikipedia. This is something I've spent a lot of time studying, sourcing, and working with. Alright, let's talk about oud. So what actually is oud? Oud, also known as agarwood, comes from a tree, specifically the Aquilaria tree, which grows in parts of Southeast Asia, India, and the Middle East. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The tree does not produce oud naturally. What happens is, and this is wild, when the Aquilaria tree gets infected by this specific kind of mold, it goes into defense mode. It produces a dark, hardwood, resinous substance to protect itself from the infection. That resin, that dark infected wood, that is oud. So essentially, one of the most luxurious and expensive scents in the world comes from a tree that's fighting for its life. Think about it. Not every tree produces it. In fact, only about 2% of Aquilaria trees in the wild develop this kind of infection naturally. And which is the first reason oud is so rare. The wood that forms from this process can take anywhere between 10 to 50 years to develop. You are literally waiting decades for a single piece of quality oud. You finally harvest it, you burn it, or you distill it in an oil. And what comes out of this process is one of the most complex and layered scents you will ever experience in your life. Smoky, woody, earthy, sweet, warm, dark, all at the same time. There is nothing else on the planet that smells like oud. Nothing. Oud has been around for more than 3,000 years. It has been mentioned in the ancient Sanskrit texts. It has been mentioned in the Bible. It is referenced in the Quran. Ancient Egyptians used it in their rituals. Japanese samurai used to burn it before going into battle. They believed that the smoke purified them and gave them strength. For more than thousands of years, across all cultures where people had no contact with each other, independently found oud and decided this is sacred, this is precious, this is something special, and that is not a coincidence. That's oud being undeniably powerful. In the Middle East, it became the foundation of fragrance culture. In countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait, you don't welcome a guest before burning oud first. It's a sign of respect, a sign of status, a sign of wealth. Even today, in the Middle East, the oud market is worth billions of dollars annually. It is not a trend. It is a tradition that has survived for over 1,000 years. And slowly, over the last couple of years, the world is catching up on it. Western perfumers started incorporating oud into their luxury perfumes. Tom Ford, Dior, Chanel, Creed, all of them have oud in their luxury collections. All of them charge premium prices for it. Because oud doesn't just smell good, it makes everything around it smell better. Okay, so now the big question. Why does oud cost more per kilogram than gold? Let me break this down properly. First, rarity. For over 1,000 years, a lot of species of Aquilaria have been over-harvested, because of which a lot of them are now under endangered and protected species. Only about 2% of the Aquilaria trees naturally develop the infection that produces oud. Because of centuries of overharvesting, many species of Aquilaria tree are now endangered and protected. Getting pure wild oud legally is incredibly difficult. Second, time. Even farmed Aquilaria takes a minimum of 10 years before the oud is ready for harvest. You're investing a decade of land, water, food, labor, and care even before you can see a single gram of product. Third, yield. To produce just 1 kilogram of high quality wood through distillation, you will have to use about 50 to 70 kilograms of oud wood. And that agarwood, my friend, took a decade to grow. Fourth, quality variation. Not all oud is the same. The scent profile, the scent complexity, the intensity, all of it varies from the country which it comes from. How old the tree was, how long the raising developed, and how it was harvested. High grade wood can fetch prices that are genuinely shocking. We are talking about pure wild wood that can cost anywhere between 30,000 US dollars to around 100,000 US dollars per kilogram. That is not typo. That is per kilogram. And yes, people pay it because there's simply nothing like it. Now, this is exactly why when I was building the SOSA car collection, wood had to be in it. Not a synthetic version, not a cheap imitation, a real wood inspired scent that captures the warmth, the luxury, the complexity, the depth, and still makes it accessible. Because not everyone can afford a $300 perfume, right? But everyone deserves to have their car smell like they can. Our SOSA wood is hands down the most premium scent in the collection. If you haven't tried it yet, the link is in the description. Okay, back to the story. Here's something most people don't know. Oud smells very different depending on where it comes from. Indian oud, also known as Hindi oud, is one of the most intense and animalic forms of oud. Deep, barnyard, and almost leather-like. Challenging for newcomers, but revered and loved by connoisseurs. Cambodian oud, also called as Cambodi, is almost soft, sweeter, almost fruity. It's a lot more approachable. A lot of Western perfumers use Sambodi in their perfumes because it blends well with all the other notes. Malaysian oud tends to be more lighter, more floral, and more transparent. It smells elegant rather than heavy. And then there is Assam wood that comes from Northeast India, considered by many experts as one of the finest ouds in the world. A single piece of high grade Assam oud burned in a room will shift the air and will keep evolving in the room for hours and hours. This is why serious fragrance collectors don't just collect oud. They collect oud from specific countries, from specific regions, from specific tree types. Like fine wine, like rare whiskey. Oud is that deep. Oud has that much to offer, and the world is finally waking up to it. The oud fragrance market is projected to be worth more than $4 billion by 2027. That is not a niche scent anymore. That is going mainstream fast. So if you want to experience oud for yourself, where do you start? First, don't get intimidated by it. Yes, it's complex. Yes, it's intense. But that's the point, right? Oud is not supposed to be subtle. Oud is supposed to make a statement. If you're new to oud, start with a lighter style like a Cambodian oud or oud blended with rose or vanilla. These combinations are incredibly approachable and smell beautiful. If you want the full experience, go for Hindi oud or Assam inspired oud. Burn it as an incense or try it as an oil. In fact, you're in for a treat. Our Attar perfume collection includes a perfume called as Nawab, and it has real Assam oud inside of it. Give it time to develop. Oud is not a first sniff scent. It reveals itself slowly. Every layer it shows you is better than the last. This is exactly what we created with the SOSA Oud Ka perfume. We wanted to take that centuries old tradition, that sacred, expensive, sought after scent, and bring it to your everyday life. Your morning commute, your daily drive, the space where most of us spend more time than we realize. Because you don't need to be in a 5-star hotel in Dubai to smell what oud smells like. You just need the right car perfume. SOSA Oud perfume is available now, and the link is in the description box. Go check it out. And if you want to explore the full collection, all the 8 scents, that's there too. If you've learned something today, give this video a like. It genuinely helps more people find this content. Subscribe if you want more videos about fragrance, car culture, and the story behind SOSA. And drop a comment below. Have you ever smelled oud? I read every single comment. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.